Now, onto the unreleased games of Crash Bandicoot series.
Well, what's that about?
Well, sometimes there are games that the creators decide to stop, or the people who are in charge of the company decide to stop making them, and they just stop making them. And just in 2004, there was a game that was going to be made called Crush Bandicoot.
What, Crash?
Yes, Crush Bandicoot. It's Crush Bandicoot. And Crush Bandicoot would have been Crash's evil twin that Dr. Cortex had, or something. There are a couple pictures of levels and stuff here, and this angry pointing at you. Oh, wow. Yes, Crush Bandicoot. The biggest cut game was Crash Bandicoot Evolution. This game soon turned into Twinsanity, but started out as Crash Bandicoot Evolution. The idea for this game was there were pretty much some things were kept for Twinsanity, but some things weren't. The evil twins were known, but they were much more eviler and looked scarier. And the evil school would have been there, and Nina would have been introduced as usual. Let's take a look at this. Crash wouldn't have just teamed up with Cortex. He would also team up with a slug named Foofy.
Foofy?
Yes, he's a space slug from a different universe.
What? Too bad this is a racing game. Is he green?
Well, actually, he's all sorts of different colors. He probably changes colors to show if he's happy or sad. Anyway, it would work the same as throwing Cortex around, except he was a nice space slug. Foofy was completely cut out. And the evil twins wanted Wampa fruits. As seen in the cavern level, the ants come out and take some boxes and stuff. Well, that's what this was supposed to be from. Anyway, the evil twins wanted the Wampa.
Oh, I know why they wanted it. Because they need to have one once a day to keep the doctor away, right?
No. They need it to power up their factories, because apparently Wampa had great power. Yes, there were all sorts of different worlds that Crash would go to. He had to save the universe from the evil twins because they were destroying it with their vice versa device and going from different worlds and doing this. A cave world which had all sorts of factory stuff in it. And there was the Hanging City, which is in the Hanging City. The rich people lived up in the giant platforms up above, and down below the poor people had to live down in the slums and down by the garbage cans.
Oh, garbage cans! Take a look at this picture.
You're taking pictures of garbage cans?
No, I didn't do this one. My roommate Grubby did it for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cortex would have had a giant cannon that he would decide to use on Crash at one time or another. Anyway, Twinsanity took 3 years to finish. And it was changed from Crash Bandicoot Evolution to Crash Twinsanity. And Crash Unlimited was also an idea for the title, but it turned out to be Twinsanity, and that's that. But that's all history now.
Okay.
Crash Clash Racing was Crash Tag Team Racing's prototype. After Twinsanity was complete, they started thinking, why not have a new game that would continue what happened last? At the end of this Twinsanity, Cortex gets into Crash's mind that this game would have been based on going around different tracks all around Crash's wonderful memories. Evil Crash was seen for concept art for this game, but was taken out. Cortex Chaos, it's also called the all-new Cortex Show. This would be the first Crash Bandicoot game that wouldn't have Crash in it. It had only Cortex in it. The story of this game is that Cortex would have been disgraced for teaming up with Crash in Twinsanity. So the other doctors are very mad about this. And they have some new help from some new doctors, nasty new end guys. And Cortex has to stop them. This game would have included super guns for Cortex to use. But the game was stopped during production. Never really got past the concept art. There had also been little clones that Cortex would use to help him get around. Crash Bandicoot 2010, called Crash Bandicoot Landed. This had an old look that didn't look so much like Titans or Mutants. It looked more like the classic first games. Anyway, the story would be there were normal Bandicoots who weren't changed by the Evolve Array that Crash had to save, and the only known villain for this game was Dingodile. And there were a bunch of cool gadgets that Crash could use, like a butterfly jetpack. There was also a Crash Team Racing game that was going to be planned with this game for 2010. It was based on the Crash Landed, and everybody had their own special weapons, like the polar bear, and Dingodile had his flamethrower. But that's it for the prototype games. Too bad these weren't released, but maybe they'll decide to continue work on these at some time.
Keep the doctor away.